Plaintiff, Brittany Kozak, became friends with the defendant in college. But after they became roommates, everything changed. Brittany claims one night they were out and the defendant got drunk and was dancing on a pool table while pulling up her dress. Brittany's suing her today for unpaid rent. Defendant Sophie Wallace says Brittany is a manipulative liar, and while living together, she moved in her ex-con boyfriend who'd done jail time for smuggling drugs. Sophie denies owing for rent because she insists she was kicked out after Brittany assaulted her.
Start with you.
Sophie and I met in October of 2017 at college. We became friends. We moved in together in February. That's when I saw a whole different side of Sophie. We went out one night to a party. Sophie had got very intoxicated. She got up on a pool table, started dancing, pulling her dress up. At that point, I was very embarrassed, and that led to an argument because I wanted to leave.
What happened when she put up her dress on the pool table? People just kept shooting pool, or did people
No, Your Honor.
What happened?
Nobody was playing pool. People were getting up on that pool table just dancing all night. She had got up there by herself and just began pulling her dress up.
All right, did people look?
Yes,
the
Your
other
Honor.
people, did they say, ooh, ah, did she have on?
Yeah, my friends and I were just very...
All right, did she have on undergarments?
Yes, she did, Your Honor.
Okay.
But people did see everything.
Now, with undergarments on, they couldn't see everything.
Well, it depends. She was wearing a thong, so they did see her butt.
So she was twirling around?
Yep, Your Honor.
So she had the back. She was holding the back up.
Yeah, she was like
around.
going like this.
She didn't do the
Pulling
front.
it all up. The whole thing on the side, it was all up.
Irrelevant.
So like that, and you can see the back and the front.
Yes, Your Honor.
Or maybe, I don't know, I just don't know. I've never seen a thong. At the beach. Yeah. Wife couldn't pull me away either in Rio de Janeiro. Well, and then I said,
Shrug the shoulder.
can I just, this one time, can I just, I said, my buddies want me to report back if the things they say about Rio are true. Believe it or not, she said, go ahead.
Yeah, that's good.
You just won't be traveling to Rio anytime soon. All right, tell me about your relationship with the plaintiff and whether all this happened.
Like she mentioned, we met at college. I developed a good friendship with her, enough to trust her to sign a 1-year lease with her. It wasn't until later that I found out that she's manipulative, a liar, and is very controlling and takes advantage of the situations. To back that up, I was okay with her bringing her boyfriend, Christian, who's an ex-con and was smuggling drugs and was put in jail for a couple of years. And
You saying the gentleman here?
Yeah, that's him. And I thought, okay.
Go ahead.
So he wanted to move in with Brittany and along with me because I was, living there as well. And I thought I was trying to be a good roommate and was just saying, okay, I understand that you and her are boyfriend, girlfriend. I get that you want to live together. I told her that he could live there temporarily, but he was actually planning on living there permanently. I said it was okay under one condition, that was just to pay 1/3 of rent, which apparently was hard for him to do since he couldn't even make $250 a month to give to us. And that, along with made our
drug dealer.
Yeah.
Well,
Drug dealer is he?
Excuse me?
Go ahead. He was done dealing drugs at that point, obviously.
I hope so. I mean,
Go ahead. The evidence states that he was done if he
okay.
can't
Well,
pay his
either
rent.
way, he still did it.
Go ahead. He'd win that case before me.
Right.
I'd say not guilty if he came here and said, Your Honor, they say I'm a drug dealer, but I couldn't even afford my rent. Nope, not guilty. Go ahead.
I expected something from him, but he didn't make that.
When you spoke to her about it, what
Well,
did she
I mentioned it. I was like, you know what, if it's only fair enough that we're all paying rent together, it's cheaper for us. And he didn't pay rent. And I brought this up to Brittany. I let a couple months go by, after I brought this up to her and mentioned that he needs to pay rent for like the next couple of months that he's living, or however long he's living there till the lease is up, that he needs to pay rent. He didn't, and I told Brittany, you know, if he doesn't pay you rent soon or like next month, he's out. He still didn't. And this is just an example of her taking advantage of me. And I had no say in like him leaving. He just kept intruding, kept coming to the house.
Let me hear from you about your boyfriend staying there.
Yeah, Your Honor. So Christian had moved.
First, let's start with the agreement between the two of you, your rooming agreement initially.
The lease, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, initially we signed a lease on February 12th. It was $800 a month, and we were splitting at $400 apiece. We did that for up until April. At that point, Christian was over one night, and Sophie went up to him, and she told him that she couldn't afford the place. Christian came to me. He told me he would be willing to move in and help out. Your Honor, help out, not pay 1/3 equally, as his name was not on the lease. So he did pay close to 1/3. It was not exactly, but he did pay, and that was every month.
No, he did not.
He did, Your Honor.
How much did he pay every month?
0.
He made payments of $250. Sophie and I covered the remaining part from it was like $17 a month we covered.
And why does she owe you $2,200?
So after the night that we went out and partied, which led to an argument, the next morning Sophie threatened to move out. She had all of her stuff packed up by 10 a.m. I woke up that morning and she insisted that she was leaving. Your Honor, after she left, I told her if she was going to leave and her name was still going to remain on the lease, that she was responsible for $250 a month. She failed to pay $250 for June and July. Those 2 months, we were in contact. I kept asking her if she was going to find someone to cover her part on the lease. She did not.
How does she owe you $2,250?
Yes, Your Honor. So we did sign the roommate agreement. In that roommate agreement, on July 20th, she stated in there that she was going to pay $250
You
a
have
month.
that?
Yes, Your Honor.
She said she was going to pay $250
Yes, Your Honor.
for the remainder of the lease
Yes, Your
to
Honor.
cover her portion. Ma'am, what do you say to this?
So Brittany bringing up the party and what I did is very irrelevant to why she's suing me. But after that, the party was over. We got into an altercation. She assaulted me. And this is right after I paid rent.
Why did she assault you?
Because she was embarrassed, and my friends didn't care. It was just her that was just beside herself.
Did she just start beating on you because?
And I was not putting my dress up, just so you know. But that's why she was embarrassed.
Just so I know.
Well, for anybody to know, but it's just like.
Go ahead. So,
okay, so
tell
she
me about
assaulted
this
me.
money or anything else you want to tell me regarding the rent.
So that night that she assaulted me, she told me that I need to give her $250 and give her a key to her boyfriend, or I would have all my stuff kicked out on the lawn. She purposely tried to make the environment as toxic as possible. She slowly started taking over the house. I had no shots at calling what was what. I mean, I couldn't even tell her boyfriend to leave, or I would have. Or I would have had the power to, and he would have been gone. So my witness, Elisa, I went to her place. From there on, I did pay rent at Elisa's place. And I was always capable of covering rent, always was on time, even covered a little bit for him. And I don't believe I owe her any money because she forced me out. And when she brings up that I wasn't allowed on the property, I didn't do anything to her.
She shows me a roommate agreement saying that
Yes.
you signed it. Did you sign this?
I signed that.
So what's your defense to this?
So I thought I could trust her after a couple of months. I have some text messages if you don't mind me reading
No,
them.
explain this first. You
Yes, sir.
signed an agreement. Now, on text messages, none of that matters if I have something in writing.
Right.
A contract.
So this is her contract that she made.
And you signed it.
Yes, I signed that because I thought, she told me that Christian left, and she offered for me to come back, live into the house, and I was like, you know what? The reason I did have trust in her from
Ma'am,
signing that was because
Why don't you think this should be enforced?
Because she kicked me out, and she told me that
And
her
you
boyfriend
signed this
wasn't.
after you had been
This was
kicked out.
This was okay. I signed that.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So then don't use the excuse she kicked me out. You knew that when you signed this.
She told
You
me
had been kicked out.
I was threatened by her boyfriend. She told me that her
She
boyfriend
threatened
was.
you to sign it? He was going to get you if you didn't sign it? Is that what you're
No,
saying
sir.
now?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just telling you that she.
Why did you sign this? And
Yes,
why
sir.
shouldn't I enforce it?
She told me her boyfriend wasn't living there anymore, and she told me I was welcome back in. I later on found out, and the reason I signed it was because I trusted what she was saying until I found out later through her boyfriend's friend that not only her boyfriend's living there, but her.
Judgment for the plaintiff, ma'am. I don't know what you're talking about. I see this says, I no longer reside there. This is after you had already moved and you agreed to pay $250 a month because you knew you were breaking the lease. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The whole relationship between them was toxic from the beginning.
agree.
We did go to her house. Police told us that we were not allowed to come back. She has text messages saying that if she came back on the property, she'd call the police. And the police even told her that if she came back on the property, they would arrest her. And so why would she?
Why would I pay that? They both took advantage of me. And I just.
Should have took your name off the lease.
You know what? I did. And I
You
was.
did not.
But you put him instead.
Your name.
Yes,
He did not legally.
Yeah, because
I
not
didn't-
legally.
He was
I
my
didn't agree to
replacement.
that.